Page 142, The Entertainer. Very famous ragtime piece. This is a nice arrangement. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to a thing we use in music called accidentals. All right, let's talk about accidentals. Sit back, relax for a bit, and give you the spiel on accidentals. You're just going to love it. I know you will. You're going to get accidentals a lot. They're not accidentals because it's by accident. They're accidentals because they're short-lived. They temporarily change a note, just temporarily. They don't last very long. There's 3 of them, and they show the symbols up there. There's a sharp, flat, and natural. The sharp is the first one. In today's generation, they'd call it a hashtag. We used to call it a number sign, or a tic-tac-toe sign, or a pound sign, or different things. But it simply means you take this note up a half step. We already know what half steps are, I hope. We covered that. You need to know what a half step is. So on a piano, it simply means you use the next note up, white or black. So if I have, let's say, an A, and I want an A sharp, I go up 1 note, white or black, here. Means we're going to start using the black keys. It's an A sharp. If I have a C, I want a C sharp, here. C sharp. You'll figure out as the sharps go up. Just remember that. Flats go down. I think of a flat tire goes down, a flat goes down. And it goes down a half step. So if I have an A, and I want an A flat, I go down. If I have a B, and I want a B flat, I go down. If I have an F, and I want an F flat, I go down. I know it's an E, it's also an F flat. Remember, every key on the piano has multiple names, but they make sense, so don't worry about them. So this note could be an A flat, or it could be a G sharp, either one. And that's how the sharps work. Sharps and flats work. Yeah. The natural simply takes the sharp or flat away, and you play the natural note or the white key. So a B natural is here. We've been doing naturals all along, but we didn't need the sign because everything was natural. Well, that leads into how are these used. Okay. Music has evolved over the centuries, and the rules have changed slightly over the centuries. And people don't agree on the rule for accidentals. I've been on both sides of the argument, don't care to get into it. Both sides believe they're correct, and yeah. You see, a long time ago, this is prior to, say, the first half of the 1700s on, or before there, the rule for accidentals was it applied for that particular note for the rest of the piece. See, accidentals were relative. They're not absolute like they are today. They were relative. So if I had a C in a piece of music and I needed a C sharp, I'd put a sharp sign in front of the C, and that would make it a C sharp for the rest of the piece. And it would just carry on. From then on, it would be a C sharp. So it's relative from where it was. If I wanted to take it up again to here, I'd just give it another sharp. It'd be a C, sharp it again, and go up here. Well, let's say later on, I had the C sharp still going and I didn't want it anymore. There were no natural signs. That didn't exist. All you had were sharps and flats. So later on, if I wanted to C natural, then I'd put a flat in front of the C, which takes it down a half step from where it's at. Here. That's what I mean by relative. It changes it from where it's at. And they use sharps and naturals to change things up and down as they needed to. But they applied for the rest of the piece. Well, then the rules slowly changed. It took decades, but it eventually changed to where they became absolute, and they got a natural sign. Now they apply for that measure. From that point on, in the rest of the measure, they apply, and that's it. Once you get across a bar line to a new measure, they don't apply anymore. That's what we mean by short-lived. They're just temporary today. And they're not relative, they're absolute. A C sharp is a C sharp is a C sharp. That's it. And then if you want the sharp to go away and you're in the same measure, you give it a natural to take the sharp away and make it a C natural. Or the flat would work the same way. You can have a, say, a G and a G flat. Later I want a G natural. I use a natural sign to take the flat away on the G. That's the thing today people don't agree on is exactly what note does it apply to. You see, in piano we got a lot of notes all over everywhere. I can have a D here and a D here and a D here and wherever. And if I give one a sharp, and later I need one of these others to be sharped, I really need to see the sharp sign, because it's just too confusing not to have it. We need the sharp sign. But if you ask a violin player or something like that, and that's why I use violin, because there was an established violin player and teacher, I was absolutely insisted that it didn't matter what octave it was, it applied to the name of the note. So if you had a D sharp here, and later, and in the same measure you had another sharp, a D, it was also a sharp. And in the music we were playing at the time, because I also play violin, yes, that was true. The way the music was written, it was a C. That D in another octave was also a D sharp, even though it didn't have a sharp sign. So some people say it's only to that note, no other octave. It's got to be that note. Other people say it's the note name. It doesn't matter what octave it goes to. So there's confusion on it, and different publishers will follow different rules when publishing it, so that doesn't help either. So ultimately you have to judge by your ear, is it really that or not, and decide. But no matter which way you say it, somebody's going to disagree with you. Just know that. However, here, let's just talk about entertainer and get a handle on how we're doing at these. We're in this position to start. And we're going to use the second finger. See, the second finger is just the next one up. I'm not going to use thumb on both of these, so I use second finger. And then the thumb comes under to do that. So I'm done. This is quite common. Actually, we usually use third finger. But second finger's good. Here, and then reach up to the C, because you're in this position, you got to be here. You're in these notes. We'll go to the second line. You're up here. You had a rest, you moved up. And you're just using, we're just fingering it up, connecting. And then they want second finger on the C. Because now we're in this position. We were here, now we're here. See how we just moved around? We just kind of crawled around like a bug. We got the... here, and then we're going to lift up and come back down, do it again. Like so. Top of page 143. Look out. You're here. They want thumb. You could have started that with second finger, but third finger's nice. Second finger doesn't have to do it all. Then crossover, and thumb is coming up here. So it's here and it's here. So you just reach. If you'll just stay relaxed, the thumb will do it. And then you're in this position. Then you lift up and come back down. So forth. And that, for the most part, is the accidentals. And keep in mind, it's only good for the measure. So at the beginning on that D, that's only good once we cross the bar line to the next measure. If there were a D in that, it'd be a natural, because that sharp sign doesn't apply anymore. Then we got to get the rhythm here. So it's a pickup measure. So there's only 2 beats in it. Because if you look at the last measure on page 143, there's 2 beats in it. So the first 2 beats are at the end. So this is beats 3 and 4. So it's 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, tie, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So you work out the rhythm real carefully in this right hand, because there's a lot of syncopation going on, typical of ragtime music. Then we do the left hand. Keep the left hand soft and out of the way. You're here. Really, it's a broken chord. It's a whole note and then here. Still a broken chord. I mean, the chord doesn't have to all be in the same measure. That has nothing to do with it. 4-chord, and then here, and then the rest, and then a C chord, and a G7 chord. And hopefully the left hand's not too much of a problem. Let's look at page 143. It's going to be the 4th line down. The last 2 lines, let's take it. You're here, and then during the rest you come up. We moved up here. Now B flat, so the second finger is on B. It's just a lot of times we use the same finger that's on the white note for the black note. It doesn't always work out, but here, just second finger. And then they want thumb again, and then third finger here. What? I disagree with that. I understand what they're doing. I disagree with the logic. What we're doing is here. We're kind of going down note at a time, and a lot of times in music when you do this up and down, you use the third finger on the black key, and I suggest you just get into the habit of that. So here, the second measure of the 4th line, I suggest go ahead and use the third finger on that black key, because we're going to keep coming. Then A on, then third finger again. Now you're on white key. Now, there's nothing wrong with using second finger on it. I'm just trying to get you into the habit of using third finger when you have what we call a chromatic passage. A chromatic passage is when you're going up or down using every key, white and black. Or so forth. We use third finger on the black keys. That's all I'm doing. It's just when I play music, then I tend to finger things according to the chords or the scales. This is a part of a chromatic scale, and you're just skipping the B natural is all. Because if you had a B natural, you'd be using the third finger. So I'm just suggesting go ahead and use third finger. Here. Put the hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So go through very slowly and deliberately and put the hands together. Count it out very carefully. Then you can add the articulation. It's slurred, connect. You have a staccato there in the second line. And you have an accent there. So it's accent in both hands. Accent there. Give it a little extra oomph. Accent. Now lift up. See the slurs here? An accent and a staccato. Boom, we're done. Then you can add the dynamics. Moderately loud, and that's to the melody. You keep the other stuff down. Now a little louder up to moderately loud. There's not a lot of difference between moderately soft and moderately loud. Just go up a little bit. Except for the accent. Come back down. Up again, back to moderately loud. It's like a conversation going on, where one person is doing this, and another person is doing this. Then the first person talks, so forth, and they're just going back and forth until you get over to page 143. In the third line down, you're here. Now you're just staying loud. If somebody got angry fingering and they took over or something. And the final, my last word, huh? Speed-wise, the danger on this particular piece is don't go fast. I mean, even Scott Joplin put in there, not fast. People will tend to take this lickety-split. He didn't want it to be fast, so slow it down. It's a... That's my opinion of how fast it should go. I wouldn't take it any faster than that. However, I would like to play it with you very slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, just notes and rhythms. I'll give us, it comes in on beat 3, so I'm going to give us 2 counts. I'm going to go ready, go. So be ready to go when we go. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.